Take number 648. No. Take number 700. This is the 700th take. Welcome to Kasi Kino. This is a film review channels where we are going to be reviewing films, ads. Like a lot of up and coming filmmakers can learn a lot from ads. The ads in my country. I'm from South Africa. The ads here are not ads anymore. Like they don't hold back. Ads in South Africa now are short films. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I get hired to do ads, fingers crossed, that time will come. I'm not gonna approach them as selling something, but I'm gonna approach it like I'm making a short film around a certain product, you know? So because that's how I see ads now in South Africa. Like they just, well, at least the ones I see, there's this KFC one about AI. Like that's not an ad. That's a short film. That's a genuine short film. I'm not even gonna lie. That ad is one of the best ads I've seen, and I think I saw that ad in the cinema. I was watching F1, and that ad came on. It was like a great starter to the movie I was watching. I feel like short films should open for feature films. That's wow. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. So if Stick and co-executives are gonna be watching this or anyone along those lines, peep that. That's actually peep that. I feel like it would give a nice opportunity to upcoming. Whoa! I am losing the plot. So, guys, welcome to Kasi Kino. This is a film review channel. We are going to be reviewing films, ads, and music videos, and some series here and there. But yeah, I don't really watch a lot of those. The few I've watched are just peak, and I feel like a lot of people have done billions on billions of reviews on those um uh series, Breaking Bad, Ozark, and a few others, but those two just are the best I've watched. Game of Thrones, those. I feel like there's already millions of reviews on those. So yeah, bap, bap, bap. Yeah. So this is Kasi Kino. I think I'm gonna. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? I think I'm gonna do it like part because of I tried doing it like one take, the whole thing, and it didn't work. So that was the introduction. Just to add, the name of this channel is called Kasi Kino. Kasi means neighborhood or hood in my country, South Africa. I'm from South Africa. And then Kino means film or cinema in some countries in Europe. So I chose to mix those two names together just to globalize. I don't care where something is from. If it's good, I'm gonna make a review on it. If it's an ad in India, I'm gonna review that ad. If it's a music video from Afghanistan, I'm gonna review that ad. If it's a short film in Sierra Leone, I'm gonna review that film. It's all about the stories. Some and my biggest hope is to share stories, not shed. What the hell am I saying? To share stories from different parts of the world, not just the main like your Hollywood. There's I want to tap into different regions. I feel like there's a lot to be discovered there and learn from. Yeah, just wanted to that. So I'm the host. My name is, well, I go by the name Saya. Um, Saya. So Saya, I don't really like. I used to not like people calling me Saya because it's a brand I started, but the name Saya or the brand itself is bigger than me. So I used to feel a bit off when people called me that, and I used to tell them, but then it just got to a point whereby, hey man, it was too late to you know change. So Saya it is. I'm Saya, 23 years old. I'm from South Africa, and I am a filmmaker. And yeah, I'm just trying to grow the film culture in my country. I'm not saying there isn't film cinema culture here, but it's not where I would want it to be, and not just for myself, but for upcoming filmmakers. We need more people to take notice of up and coming filmmakers or just film in general. But I don't know, in South Africa, it seems very exclusive sometimes, very restricted in terms of only certain kinds of people are allowed certain information around that industry, you know. So yeah, I just want to make film more accessible, more less exclusive, more accessible and more relatable because I don't think it's that relatable. Yeah. So I'm just trying to grow that culture and hopefully see more film review channels from my fellow peers here in my country, because I just love to hear people talk about movies, especially people who are more likely to have the same perspective as me because we're from the same country. Yes, we will definitely see films differently, but sharing their perspective on certain movies will just be great. I just need more voices in film, basically, and this channel is an attempt on doing that, growing the culture. And I'm a filmmaker, right? Director, writer, and everything else. Literally, when you shoot things alone, you literally do everything yourself. So I'm saying that to just make the point that I'm usually behind the camera. I don't like being in front of the camera. It's not me. It's really not me. I prefer anything but being in front of the camera. But this is not about me. This is bigger than me. So yeah, that's who Saya is. And that's why I started this channel. So I think I should give you guys a bit of context on why I love film. Um yeah, I don't even know where to start. Um my journey into loving film isn't really a common one. I don't think there is a common one. Well, maybe there is. I'm just not aware of it maybe. But how I got into film was it wasn't really film, but it was storytelling. I don't think storytelling is only exclusive to filmmaking. Pictures can tell a story, and that's how I started. Back in primary school, I used to edit. I used to take pictures and edit them. Um, there's my aunt's phone. Used to use my aunt's phone to edit those pictures. One of the memories I remember was recreating a FIFA cover. Yeah, it was like me and my nephew, my little nephew, created that FIFA cover. But one memory that always stands out was when I took a picture of myself sitting at my granny's place outside. It's like a porch sort of thing. Took that picture, edited how I edited it. Like I made like a mirror effect. Remember I was in primary school, so yeah, I was back then, so that was probably the coolest thing back then. But yeah, took that picture, made a mirror effect thing, wrote the nickname people used to call me in primary school. And back then, the WhatsApp only had like profile pictures, no status, no picture statuses, no video statuses, no. The only picture you could upload was your profile picture. So I took that picture and applied it as my WhatsApp profile picture. And then it blew up. People who had my numbers from primary school flooded in the comments like, you, that's a nice picture, and I guess that made me, it did not make me realize that I'm good at this. It just made me want to do this even more. So I started editing and editing and editing and editing. But I was an athlete. I think it's fair for me to say that. I was football obsessed, you know. I was like football, 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 football. Like that was my life, and then I don't know, it just came a time where I started wanting to do more with pictures and then discovered video. Like, oh, I can also do this. This allows me to tell more than what I could with my pictures or just editing, and then started making videos. And then think the year after COVID, I saw a movie called Black Klansman by Spike Lee. Um, yeah, I just, after seeing that movie right then there, I was just like, I want to do this. There's a specific scene in the movie. I don't know if I can show it because of copyright and stuff, but there's a specific scene. After that scene, I just, it's like I've found my purpose after that scene. So shout out Spike Lee. Thank you, Spike Lee. So yeah, that scene empowered me. So realizing that I can empower people through film to that level is what made me fall in love with film. So hey, like I am like I hope I'm making sense. I really hope I'm making sense. But yeah, that's how I fell in love with film. Well, it's a shorter story. Something happened for me to find that movie. But yeah, I feel like that's enough for context. So yeah, I fell in love. Excuse me. I fell in love with film because it empowered me, and that made me realize that my story can empower someone else, and that's how my love for film began. Yeah, but before that, there's a memory I somehow have never forgot. It was back then. I think that was the first time I went to the cinema. It was me and my dad and my younger brother. We went to see the Incredible Hulk, like Ed Edward Norton's Hulk. For me, the best Hulk to date. I, there's no better Hulk than that. I refuse to believe there's a better Hulk than that. I still watch that movie today. Today. That's how sick that Hulk was. Anyway, yeah. So it was me, my dad, and my younger brother. And the thing is, we got there super late, and I think the cinema was full. So um, we had to sit on the staircases because I don't know, we just didn't want to bother people because we were very late, and coming in at that time in the movie was like, ah, let's just sit here, And it was the part where the Hulk and Abomination were running towards each other, about to face off. So yeah, that's a memory I'll never forget. And it's a special one because it's in the cinema. So I guess it was always meant to be fate. Just hope one of my films will be in that cinema right there. But anyway, that's how I fell in love with film. So for this introduction video, I decided to list my top 10 films currently, just to give you guys um context or my flavor of movies. Yeah, I think that's a better way to phrase it. My flavor of movies. So yeah, top 10 lists are very hard. Um, very hard. I had trouble um writing my top 10 movies because yeah, how does someone name only 10 favorite movies? Crazy. So this list is probably gonna change down the line, but they are movies that will never change. Like that movie will remain that specific number. Fact, that movie will remain that specific number. So let's get started. My number 10, I put Whiplash. Whiplash, amazing movie. Amazing movie. It inspires me a lot. And I like the message behind it. Well, I like the message I got from the movie, which is obsession beats talent. So I recommend every single person watching this right now, hopefully there's people watching, to watch Whiplash. Number 9, I have Tenant by Christopher Nolan, starring Robert Pattinson and John David Washington. Oh, I love that movie. Should be higher than 9 though, but hey, this is not in order. Well, it is, but hey, I feel like Tenant should be higher. But for now, let's say 9. Tenant number 9. Fantastic film. Not just because it's directed by the Christopher Nolan, but every time I watch it, I get a different meaning of the movie. Like, how can the same movie do that? That's crazy. So, number 9, Tenant. Number 8, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. I think he's my favorite filmmaker. I think Quentin Tarantino is my favorite filmmaker, and I think this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It has Brad Pitt, might be my favorite actor. Leonardo DiCaprio, definitely in my top 3. And Margaret Robbie. Hope you, I think I butchered the name, but that's her name. So, directed by Quentin Tarantino. I love the film. Like, just go watch it for yourself. Like, I've just ran out of words to describe um, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Give it a watch. And then number 7, I have Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, it's a bit similar to Whiplash, but um, in the pursuit of greatness, he loses himself. And I don't think in Whiplash, Miles Teller, he plays the lead. I don't think he loses himself. I think he finds himself. So that's the difference between the two. But definitely will always be in my top 10. Love, love, love Nightcrawler. Inspiring film too. Like Are you willing to do what it takes kind of movie? And I think those are my kind of movies, movies that show me what it takes. I mean, they movies, not like real life, but the message behind it is I think it's true. There's just a lot of sacrifices you have to take along the way or to achieve anything great. You know, um, I guess I'm lucky. I have God. I'm not saying he didn't have God, but for me, God leads the way. So, but He's gonna test me Himself also. So, sacrifices are still there, I guess. And then number six, Dune, the first one, Dune Part One. Denis Villeneuve probably tie with Quentin Tarantino as my favorite filmmaker. I just love everything he's done. He's done Blade Runner, Prisoners, Dune 1 and 2, Sicario, Arrival. His filmography is hard. Watch Dune. It's a slow burner, like it's a really slow burner, but in the best way possible. Like it builds the world up so perfectly, and you only realize that when you watch part two. But yeah, after seeing part two, I just appreciated part one even more. But we'll get to part two. So that's my number six, Doom. Then number five, Logan. Probably the best superhero movie I've seen. Yes, there's Avengers Endgame and um Conjuring. It's Avengers Infinity War. I can't believe I forgot that. There's Infinity War and then there's Endgame. Yeah, though most people would say though between those two is the best superhero movie of all time. But for me it's Logan, just because of how real it was. And it's a Marvel movie. Marvel movies aren't DC for me is more real than Marvel, right? In terms of a mere human being is able to relate more to DC than Marvel. But Logan has both worlds, it has the best of both worlds. So Logan's my number five. Shout out Logan. I don't know who directed Logan. Should look that up. And then number four, I have Across the Spider Verse. Amazing film. Amazing film. I related. I think it's my number four. I think my top five are just films I relate to on a very personal level. Because five Logan, four Across the Spider Verse. Like there's a line he says everyone keeps telling me what to do, and then he says, "Nah, I'm gonna do it my own way." Like that line and the soundtrack. It's not spoken about enough. The score of Across the Spider Verse is amazing. It's amazing. So that's my number four, and then Green Book. My number Green Book and There Will Be Blood. So those are tied. One movie is by Thomas Paul Anderson. PTA. Yeah, nah, English. There Will Be Blood is by Paul Thomas Anderson, and then Green Book, I don't know the director, but it stars Mashallah Ali. Like two movies. I relate to Green Book more because it's a story about a black man. Well, it's not just about a black man, but I related more to that component in the film. But that the every component is adds to how great the movie is. Love that movie. And then There Will Be Blood. It's just go watch it for yourself. Go watch it for yourself. Wonderful. I've abandoned my child. Those who know where that's from. I've abandoned my child. Shout out. What a movie. What a director. PTA is Paul Thomas Anderson. And number two, Forrest Gump, because solely because, well, not solely, mostly because of the love story in Forrest Gump. I'm a sucker for love, and I'm inspired by um, the love Forrest had for Jenny. Yes, for Jenny. Yeah, but there's also more to it. I just relate a lot to Forrest as a person and look up to that character also. So shout out Forrest Gump. Who directed Forrest Gump? Okay, the poster doesn't say, but it's on my wall. Number one, Dune Part Two. I saw Dune, I think last year. Yeah, last year and last year. I'm not too sure. But ever since then, I've never seen a movie better than Dune Part 2. I have never seen a movie better than Dune Part 2. Like, I don't know if the cinema experience, because there wasn't a lot of people in the cinema, it was just me and two other people. So it felt like I was in the movie. And yeah, that's because of the cinematography. Greg Fraser was the cinematographer for Dune Part 2, and there was just I had a spiritual experience with Dune. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it touched me deeply. Like, Elisa Nagaib. Yeah. Muad'Dib Usul. I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. So yeah, those who know. Those who know where those references are from. What I have to say about this movie, go watch Dune Part 2. 1 and 2. But 2, like, 2 is so much better. Like, Dune Part 2 is doesn't need Part 1 to be the great film. My number one, it is. It doesn't need Part 1. Dune is great, but Dune Part 1, because of the world building, the character developments, it just makes Dune Part 2, yo, a whole lot better. The performances, the cinematography, the direction, the art direction, the world building, the sets, the stunts, the fights, the Dune is crazy, guys. And then I have two honorable mentions. One of them is Losing Lirato, best South African film I've ever seen to date. I think that's gonna be controversial, but I don't see why. But I think it's literally the best South African film I've seen. They made a sequel. Netflix, I think, made a sequel, and it didn't do part one justice at all. You know, um, I just love part one. Like, Losing Lirato is one of those films where it just doesn't need a sequel. The first movie said it. Well, I guess how it ended, yeah, you can make sense on why a sequel was possible. But I just love Losing Lirato. I'm gonna stand on this. It is most people would say Toti because of like the Oscar. Yeah, I saw Toti. Didn't give me what Losing Lirato gave me. So I'm losing Lirato all day. And then my other honorable mention is Elite by it stars Brad Pitt, one of the best Brad Pitt movies ever. The wardrobe, the performances, the sets, the stunts, the ending, the climax. I can go on and on with Elite. To be fair, these two movies can easily switch with any movie in my top 10 except Dune, Forrest Gump, Green Book, and Logan, because they are great films. So yeah, those are my top 10. So yeah, that's about it. That's who I am. That's my taste in films, and yeah, just hopefully you guys get to understand me more in terms of my film analysis or how I digest films. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be consistent. In fact, I'm not gonna try. Moving the mic again. I am going to be consistent. Hopefully 2 episodes a week. I'm gonna be reviewing films. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Films, music videos, ads, maybe a series here and there. But yeah, I'm just gonna go crazy and see where this gets me. But ultimately, this is just to grow the film culture in South Africa, hopefully Africa. So yeah, we'll be seeing you guys soon. That's it for episode 1, an introduction to me, who I am. I'm normally behind the camera, but hey, and I don't like hearing myself talk. So having to edit this, yeah, I'm really putting myself to it. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. Part no, my first review is gonna be coming soon. Stay tuned. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, comment. Even if you don't subscribe, comment. I want to hear what your review is on a specific film. Peace.